What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another top 10 video where I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most fearless characters within the Dynasty Warriors series. Now, a lot of characters can fit on this list. It was definitely difficult to narrow it down. I had like 20 people on here and I had around like 8 honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about, but I narrowed it down. We have 2 honorable mentions, 10 characters to go through. This is the best that I could get it. Of course, you guys will let me know who I missed. You guys are always really good at that. Love talking to you guys down in the comments, so just let me know down below if I missed anything. With that being said, I don't have much else to say. Let's go ahead and jump into the list. But before we do, we're going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions that survived the honorable mention apocalypse. Starting off with the first one here, we've got Guan Yu. I think Guan Yu is one of the most fearless characters from the history and from the game itself. Again, a lot of characters could fit here, but I think Guan Yu being one of the most fearless characters because of who he was and what he represented as a character within this time frame. I think he was well aware of his abilities, and I think that would have boosted him to a point of fearlessness, to the point where he was sticking in Jing province, making the moves to push up to Fawn Castle, getting himself caught in that situation because of his arrogance. But in terms of all the playable characters that we have, I think Guan Yu is among the most fearless, along with his Tiger General in Arms, Huang Zhang. So unmatched when it came to his battle prowess, and it takes a lot of courage and obviously fearlessness to charge ahead and lead your troops literally into battle without worrying about getting killed or whatever it may be, relying on your skills enough, having the confidence to push through and honestly have a decorated and successful career that I think Huang Zhang had. So that's it for my honorable mentions, 2 of the Tiger Generals. We're going to go ahead and jump into the list. Again, let me know what you guys think about it down below. Let's talk about these bad boys. Alright, starting off with number 10, we have an unusual pick. You guys will let me know, but he's very underrated. We've got Zhou Yu. So Zhou Yu, for me, I think he's one of the most fearless, not just in the sense that he was on the battlefield, because he was. Zhou Yu is a general, he was on the battlefield, but in terms of fearlessness, I think because he was the proponent, one of the biggest proponents for the defiance to Cao Cao's invasion that led to the Battle of Chi Bi. That takes a lot of confidence and fearlessness in a person in order to not only convince everyone to go to war, but of course your ruler and putting everybody's lives on the line. And Zhou Yu having so much confidence in his ability to come up with a plan in order to push through that, and of course having the collaboration of everybody there, Huang Gai, Lu Su, all that. You're basically at an insurmountable kind of a situation and you still press on through, and it takes a certain amount of fearlessness and confidence as well in order to convince everyone to do something that is pretty much or almost a suicide mission. But because of Zhou Yu's fearlessness in combination with his tactician abilities, he was able to pull off an extraordinary W for the Allied forces and kept the Three Kingdoms period going on for a little longer. And that's why he's starting off my list here at number 10. Now, moving into number 9, we have Yue Jin. The reason that he's above, of course, Zhou Yu is because this guy has 2 victories over Guan Yu. That's right, he beat him twice on 2 different occasions. He also was noted to be going toe-to-toe with Ling Tong before he ended up getting pushed back by Gan Ning, because Gan Ning shot him in the face with an arrow and was unable to pursue him any longer. But Yue Jin, very decorated resume in history, over a dozen or a couple dozen of officers he beat during his time. This dude is the epitome of fearlessness. He does not care. He leads his army into battle. He's head of the vanguard, head of the cavalry unit, and he makes sure that his unit comes out on top. Not much else to say about it. The main reason he's here, again, those 2 dubs over Guan Yu, is huge. Not only did he beat him once, but then he had the confidence to go at him again and stop him once more. And that's all I have to say about that. Next up, coming at number 8, we've got Zhou Yu's partner in crime, Mr. Sun Ce. One of the most fearless characters from this time period. He definitely takes the word fearless to another level. He does not care about any officer or any opponent in front of him. He will attack them without hesitation. You can also attribute it to a little bit of ignorance, I think, because of Sun Ce's personality and him being on the battlefield and wanting to just have a good time. He's kind of just like, yeah, whoever's in front of me, let's fight to the death. It could be Lu Bu, it could be Guan Yu. It doesn't matter to him. He's just there to have a good time, which in turn makes him an extremely fearless character. Definitely would be doing a disservice to the list if I did not include him. He's just a wild card that you don't really know what he's going to do, but because of his passion and the courageousness and fearlessness that he shows, he inspires other people like Zhou Yu to follow him into battle because of that fearlessness that I think Sun Ce definitely exudes within his personality. Sun Ce definitely deserves to be on this list, and I think number 8's a great spot for him just because I don't think he embodies the sense of fearlessness. I think it's just a matter of wanting to have fun mixed with potentially a little bit of ignorance, like not really caring about who he's going against, which in turn makes him a pretty fearless character. Now, moving on to number 7, one of the most fearless characters from this list, we have Mr. Wen Yang. So Wen Yang, having an incredible feat in his time. Of course, he pacified the barbarians, the Shan barbarians during his time, recruiting over 200,000 soldiers. But the main point I want to point out here is Wen Yang's battle with Sima Shi. He ends up getting surrounded and ends up breaking out of the encirclement, going back into the encirclement, killing a bunch of people, weaving in and out and in and out. I don't remember if he was saving somebody or not, but I know that he caused a lot of damage to this unit and was not killed because of it. Wen Yang is a very gifted martial artist. He was physically strong as well, and he was able to weave in and out of this cavalry unit that was sent after him by Sima Shi, which of course led to Sima Shi's eye being popped out because he was so ticked off that he couldn't kill this guy. But an extremely fearless character. I mean, him being introduced in Dynasty Warriors 8, you can see that this guy doesn't care. Surrounded by 15, 20 people, he doesn't matter. He chops them up, he keeps on moving. Wen Yang undoubtedly is one of the most fearless characters from this era, and I have no problem putting him here at number 7. Alright, next up, coming at number 6, speaking of him from earlier, we've got Mr. Nunchuck himself, Ling Tong. So, Ling Tong for me, honestly, is one of the most fearless characters from this game. Just the feat alone that he had, the battle against Huang Zu, was insane, for those of you who don't know. So, the battle with Huang Zu, Sun Quan was pushing him back, and made Huang Zu retreat back to his main camp, I believe, and he ended up bottlenecking a certain area to where Sun Quan's forces couldn't just pass through, because he had archers, he had traps, he had boulders, he had things that would make it pretty much impossible to get through unless you go through this one little area and get pretty much, sliced and diced. Ling Tong, however, him and his unit had the brilliant idea of suiting up with 2 cases of armor and just persevering through the area. Absolutely insane. I talked about it in another video. I'm going to repeat it here. Ling Tong being able to not only do that, but convince other people to join him is absolutely insane. One of the most fearless characters in the game, of course, him protecting Sun Quan when Zhang Liao goes after him. Him and a couple hundred people. Everybody gets killed except for him. He waits until Sun Quan is able to escape. Once he's 100% cleared out, that's when he finally leaves. He's battered, he's bruised, he's wounded. But Ling Tong, 100%, one of the most fearless characters from this series. And at least to me, Ling Tong really shows that he's no slouch when it comes to the battlefield. So for me, he's going to be a great choice here at number 6. Right before we hit the top 5, let's go ahead and jump into the big boys. Alright, next up, coming at number 5, we have Zhao Yun. Now, we all know why he's on this list, and we all know it was exaggerated. Yes, I know. However, he did have an extremely incredible feat at the Battle of Han River, similar to Wen Yang. That's why he gets that comparison to Zhao Yun, because he did something similar. Han River, Huang Zhang is out on the battlefield. He's lost somewhere, or just, not reported back in time. Zhao Yun goes and looks for him. He gets encircled, and again, he breaks out of the encirclement, goes back in to save a deputy or his soldiers or someone who was trapped in that area, breaks back into the circle, saves them, and then breaks out of the circle again. He puts himself in harm's way with no problem to get in and out and back out again of these soldiers in order to save the people that he needs from that mission. And then of course in the games, Changban, I know it's a little exaggerated, but when it comes to fearlessness, Zhao Yun is a great cover for that. He's a great poster boy for that. He definitely deserves to be on this list. I think top 5 is a great choice for him. Let's see what you guys think about the next one. Alright, next up, coming at number 4, we have Zhou Tai. So inherently, all of the bodyguards in this game are inherently fearless. If they are signing up to protect somebody, that's their job. Jotai is no exception, an absolute badass on the field, and when it comes to toughness, I believe he's one of the toughest characters in the game from what he's gone through. He's suffered so many wounds and cuts and saving Sun Quan multiple times, and the games really do a good job with showcasing it. Hopefully they do a little bit more. But when it comes to fearlessness, as long as Jotai is next to Sun Quan, he is willing to do anything, and he wears it on his body. He's got the scars to prove it. There's a little anecdote of when Sun Quan was pulling him in, and I think they were like doubting. Somebody was like doubting Jotai. I think it was like Zhu Sheng and Ding Feng. He took off all his armor or his clothes, and they showed his scars of the times that he protected Sun Quan. Showcasing his fearlessness, we know how badass Jotai is. No brainer for him at number 4. That's all I got for him. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Alright, next up, top 3, here we go. Starting off with the head of the elite generals of Wei, at least in my opinion, we have Zhang Liao. One of the craziest men from this time, going on a suicide mission during the Battle of Hefei. Of course, being a stalwart general and a well-endowed martial artist, and believing in his skills, getting the confidence, similar to Ling Tong, right? Convincing people to join him, kind of get the jump on Sun Quan, the Wu forces, and really push them and give them an opportunity to kind of hold on. No brainer for him being in at number 3. He's got great cutscenes within the games as well, fighting 3-on-1 with some of the best from Shu. A lot of cutscenes for him, a lot of battle things for him. The terror that he imposes upon people cannot be understated. And I wouldn't necessarily say that he uses that to his advantage, not like in a nefarious way or like a bad way, but I think he knows who he is, he knows how intimidating he can be, and he uses that, but not like in an evil way. It's like, I'm here now, and if you want to get in my way, that's on you. I think that's kind of his mindset versus like, I'm powerful and strong, and I'm going to kill you because I am powerful and strong, like some other characters. But besides the point, Zhang Liao, one of the most fearless characters in the game. I don't think it can be argued that he's not one of the most fearless. I'm sure there's going to be a couple people that think that he deserves to be up at number 1 or number 2. Totally down to hear you guys' opinions on it. But for me personally, I think the top 2 are a little bit more fearless than Zhang Liao. Not saying, and we'll get to it. Anyway, Zhang Liao, number 3 for me. Battle of Hefei, absolutely insane. Going on a suicide mission, no big deal for him. And then of course all the accolades and everything he had up until that point. Now, moving into number 2, we've got the one-eyed general himself, Xiahou Dun. So, Xiahou Dun, I originally had him down at like number 4 or 5, but he's got to be up here because he is one of the few characters, he's the only character, that loses his eye and continues to fight throughout his career. In history, I believe it happens to him as well. I don't think he eats the eye, but in the novel, he pulls the thing out, eats the eye, and continues on his campaign. He has a long career after that. That was early in his career, early in his life. Battle of Jiapi happened in like 198, and he died like 30 years later. So definitely a lot of respect for Xiahou Dun. Losing that eye, being able to adapt to the battlefield, and of course the game's over exaggerated, but you got to think about it. Losing your eye, and it doesn't deteriorate this character from helping and pushing Cao Cao's vision. One of the most fearless characters in the game, hands down. I know in history he had a lackluster career, but you got to give him props for pushing through after losing one of his eyes. I mean, imagine that. He just goes dark on that one side forever, and Xiahou Dun still pushes through. One of the most badass characters, 100%. Definitely earns a silver medal here. Xiahou Dun coming at number 2 is a good choice for me. And then finally, coming in at number 1, just because of the way the game's depicted and from what I've read in the history for him as well, number 1, we have Dian Wei. Dian Wei is the most fearless character in this game. Goes toe-to-toe with Lu Bu, of course sacrificing himself, just, spread eagling out for these arrows to hit him. He jumps in for Cao Cao. I mean, he is absolutely the most fearless character on this list. Again, you can argue that Zhang Liao or maybe Xiahou Dun, one of the other characters, could be above him. But we have the cutscenes. We have so many of him running back into the fray, sacrificing his body, sacrificing his life for Cao Cao. And it doesn't get more fearless than that. I genuinely think, at least within the games, I genuinely think Dian Wei doesn't fear a single person on the battlefield. Not saying anybody else does, but Dian Wei, head to head, freaking Sparta kicks Lubu away and still goes after him. Absolutely insane. You can call it ignorance. He might not even know who he was. He just like, you know, this dude's causing problems. Let me go after him. But in turn, that makes him a fearless character. He's there to protect Sao, whatever it takes. And the way he dies in all the games honestly makes him #1 for me. But that's all I have for the video, guys. Top 10 most fearless characters in the Dynasty Warriors series. Let me know what you guys think about the list down below. Again, there's a lot of characters I think could be on this list. I mean, I would say at least half the characters could probably fit this pretty well. But I can only do 10 or else it'd be a very long video. But again, that's all I have. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, or ideas for videos, let me know. If you're a member of the channel and you're of higher enough tier and you want a specific video to be made, let me know and it will be done. But other than that, that's all I have, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.